Prime Minister Rishi Sunak is set to complete 1 year in office this week. He picked up the reins from Liz Truss, who was the shortest-serving UK Prime Minister ever. Now, the times were tumultuous. The economy was in shambles. Widespread protests and strikes were taking a toll on the lives of the people, and Liz Truss proved inefficient in tackling these issues. 1 year later, Sunak is also facing many of those challenges. He is now facing significant discontent among his backbenchers. The Prime Minister is under pressure from right-wingers for tax cuts, while moderates are pushing for more centre-ground plans that deal with the cost of living to stop votes being lost to Labour. With the 1 year anniversary of Sunak's premiership due on Wednesday, up to 25 Conservative MPs are prepared to put in letters of no confidence against Sunak. The disastrous by-election losses last week dented his standing further, but many more Tory MPs have made their minds for a situation where Sunak is leading the party into the next election. Given the number of leadership changes the party has already seen since 2019. Theresa May was replaced that year by Boris Johnson. He gave way to Liz Truss in 2022, and Sunak got the job when her tenure ended after 44 days. Sunak will also face another key test this week as he seeks to push through the Renters Reform Bill. The legislation is likely to face a rebellion among Tory backbenchers. To save his position, he is learning to make some compromises with the Conservatives in his party. He is believed to have bowed to pressure from the Conservative right to ditch a long-promised ban on conversion therapy for gay and trans people. He and Chancellor Jeremy Hunt are also considering whether to signal possible future tax cuts, pledges to raise the 40% income tax threshold, lower stamp duty and abolish inheritance tax are among the options under consideration. For more, we were earlier joined by veteran journalist Mike Buckley from Sheffield, England. He is a political commentator and director of the Independent Commission on the UK-EU relations. Listen in.
Well, Rishi Sunak came in, as you say, just about a year ago, and in theory, he was sold as, a return to sensible government, a return to some degree of competence and centre ground conservative politics after the disasters of the Boris Johnson government and the further disaster of Liz Truss, and indeed the chaos of Theresa May as well. And I think Rishi Sunak initially started to try to be that prime minister. If you remember, in the spring, he got a deal with the EU called the Windsor Framework that ended the animosity over the Northern Ireland Protocol and the wider Brexit agreement. And it looked like he may, have some ability to aim towards the centre ground. But since then, things have just got worse and worse. I mean, it seems that he's constantly giving in to the right of his party. Suella Braverman is the obvious example, with her obsession with trying to stop asylum seekers coming to the UK and failing miserably. And the rhetoric about that has become increasingly extreme, actually, which is unpleasant for a lot of people in this country, and of course very unpleasant for asylum seekers as well. But indeed, Rishi Sunak has completely failed to sell himself to the UK public. I think in part because he moved away from that initial statement of "I'm here to be a sensible, safe pair of hands," instead by reaching for the extremes. And then he's had a number of very bad rebrands. So he launched 5 supposed missions in the spring, none of which I don't think he's been able to pull off, or very few of them. And then at his recent party, he tried to rebrand as the change candidate, which, given the Conservatives have been in power for 13 years, is just ludicrous. So I think the public have just decided he's just not really up to the job.